to make peace and stop the fighting. One love, one unity, got to break the bondage. No more borders around me, no more mental slavery. Bob Marley said it best, stand together and feel alright. But if we fight,
let it be for justice.
and if we war,
Let it be for justice.
at all costs,
Let it be for justice.
do what is right.
Let it be for justice.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Inequity, disparities, and violence, oppression, racism. No, I won't be silent. No, no more barriers for we. We will thrive, prosperity. Marcus Garvey said it best. None but ourselves can free your minds. But if we fight,
Let it be for justice.
and if we war,
Let it be for justice.
at all costs,
Let it be for justice.
do what is right.
Let it be for justice.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. 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 No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. We the people are from royalty. Royalty. I wish so many of us can see. Keep the culture, be united, stop the violence. Put the power in ourselves, create the franchise. In the news last week, another bomb overseas. I'm so sick of these murders in the streets. Ooh, why I? Ooh, why I? Why I? Why I?
Greetings and salutations, one and all.
Let it be for justice.
Welcome to the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
Let it be.
It's community and finance night.
Let it be for justice.
Tonight we're going all in the community.
Let it be for justice.
Let it be for justice. Let
Talking about our island nation,
no matter what.
Jamaica.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it be
Let's see where we're heading with this justice initiative.
for justice. No matter what it
What
costs.
does justice look like anyway?
Let it be for justice. Why I?
Want to say big ups to each and everyone locked in right now. Those on Tune In Radio. On the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew, welcome to you.
Be for justice.
Those who are hailing from across the pond, top of the morning to you. Over there in the UK. One Harmony Radio. King Genius, Queen Genius, much love to you.
It is time for us to make peace and stop the fighting.
Big ups to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com.
Break the bondage. No more borders around me. No more mental slavery. Bob Marley said it best, stand together and feel alright. But if we fight,
Let it be for justice.
and if we war,
Let it be for justice.
at all costs,
Let it be for justice.
do what is right.
Let it be for justice.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Inequity, disparities, and violence, oppression, racism. No, I won't be silent. No more barriers for we. We will thrive, prosperity. Marcus Garvey said it best. None but ourselves can free your minds. But if we fight,
Sorry about that. Like I was saying, much love to those who are locked in on the Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com. Mr. Lindsay, big up your status, sir. Veteran in the business.
Be for justice.
do what is right.
Big ups to those who are locked in out of
Be for justice.
Let it be for justice.
New Jersey.
Let it be for justice. No matter
on NIE Radio with the Motivator.
Let it be for justice. Let
Those who are locked in on Mix 96.
what it costs. Let it be for justice. Let it be.
Sorry, Mix102.com
The
and
people,
Earth 96 FM out of Jamaica.
royals,
Much love to you.
with so many of us. Can't
Symbol, big up yourself, sir. Much love.
keep the culture, be united, stop the violence. Put the power in our.
Those locked in out of New York.
In the news last week, another bomb.
Locked in on Island Worldwide, exhibiting the power of music.
Streets.
China Nicole, Gary, and the Jump Out production crew. Much love to you.
Boy,
But if we fight,
Music from China Nicole in the background, bringing us into the broadcast. This is how we kick off things. It's called Let It Be for Justice.
it is time for us to make peace and stop the fighting. One love, one unity, got to break the bondage. No more borders around me, no more mental slavery. Bob Marley said it best, stand together and feel alright. But if we fight,
Let me just wait on a couple of more of my guests to come on in.
be for justice.
I have some housekeeping to do.
Be for justice.
do what is right.
Be for justice.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for
I
justice.
want to say thank you to my segment sponsors,
For justice. Inequity,
Pulse Media Group.
and violence.
When being in the moment is priceless, go ahead and give them a call.
Racism, no, I won't be silent. No more barriers for we. We will thrive, prosperity.
They can do so much for you.
It best none but ourselves can free your minds. But if we fight,
Be for justice.
and if we want,
They host my website, they can host yours too. If you have a live event that you want to stream across a secure platform, whether yours or theirs,
For justice.
give them a call. 754-999-1140.
Justice.
let it be
Be it a church service, a graduation, a party, a seminar,
for justice. No matter
even a protest.
be for justice. Let it be for justice.
They got ya.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. We the people are from royalty. Royalty. I wish so many of us can see. Keep the culture, be united, stop the violence. Put the power in ourselves, create the franchise. In the news last week, another bomb overseas. I'm so sick of these murders in the streets. Ooh, boy,
I want to say thank you to Althea and her Healing Heavenly Hands.
Be for justice.
Althea S is a licensed massage therapist operating out of Broad County, North Miami-Dade, and South Palm Beach counties. She comes to you, bringing her table, her oils, and over 20 years massage therapy experience.
Be for justice.
let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
Give her a call today.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
954-655-9000.
Let it be for justice. No matter
She only has one request outside of paying her. Is that you get off her table and go sleep somewhere else when she's done. Why? Because you're guaranteed to fall asleep, trust me.
for us to make peace and stop the fighting. One love, one unity, got to break the bondage. No more borders
I want to say thank you to the Global Base.
or mental slavery. But Marley said,
The Global Base navigates your journey across music, marketing, and much, much more.
if we fight,
It's a realm where social spheres awaken through their mastery. Go ahead, embrace the invitation to liberate your creativity unbounded and free. The Global Base is your catalyst for everything related to music, marketing, event planning, and social media.
Be for justice.
let it be for justice. Let
Go ahead and check them out online. DA Global, BASE, theglobalbase.com.
Let it be for justice.
Get your free consultation from them today.
Violence, oppression, racism. No, I won't be silent. No, no.
I want to say thanks to McNeil Trucking.
We will thrive, prosper.
McNeil Trucking is a veteran-owned, licensed and insured mover in the state of Florida.
Ourselves can free your minds, but if we fall,
So you want to move from down in the Keys up to Jacksonville? You want to move from Naples to Palm Beach? From Pompano to Pensacola? And all points in between.
do what is right.
Go ahead and give them a call. 954-406-9740. You want to put some things in storage, you don't have the manpower, you don't have the transportation, don't worry. You have the name, you have the number. McNeil Trucking. 954-406-9740.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice.
Call them up today.
The people are from royalty. Royalty. I wish so many of us can see. Keep the culture, be united, stop the violence. Put the power in ourselves, create the franchise. In the news last week, another bomb overseas. I'm so sick of these murders in the streets. Ooh, boy,
Let me see if I can give the rebel a hand getting in here.
Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Let it time for us to make peace and stop the fighting. One love, one unity, got to break the bondage. No more borders around me, no more mental slavery. Bob Marley said it best, stand together and feel alright. But if we fight, justice, let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. Inequity, disparities, and violence, oppression, racism. No, I won't be silent. No more barriers for we. We will thrive, prosperity. Marcus Garvey said it best. None but ourselves can free your minds. But if we fight, let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. We the people are from royalty.
Okay, thank y'all for your patience.
Many of us can see.
A little bit of technical work in the background.
Power in ourselves, create the franchise. In the news last week, another bomb overseas. I'm so sick of these murders in the streets.
So tonight, we have some people joining us. Some people who are sick of the murders in the streets. Sick of asking questions, not getting answers. As well as they should be. I don't know which Jamaican in the diaspora isn't sick and tired of asking questions and not getting answers.
Let it be for justice. Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice.
So tonight,
let it be for justice.
we're joined by a few people out of the diaspora.
Let it be for justice. No matter what it costs, let it be for justice.
Some of you might have seen where I posted on social media.
Let it be for justice.
That there's a protest that is going to be happening in Miami this coming Friday.
Let it be for justice.
And some people are asking, "Wait, what is protesting going to do?" Well, protesting can do a whole lot. I want to say big ups to those over at the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation. Much love to you guys. And we've talked about them before, and some of the members. These organizations, in fact, let me just go right into it. Who is joining us first? Here do I see here. Greetings and salutations. Dr. Francis, you seem to be the first one up. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome some friends of mine from the diaspora, the majority of whom have their own broadcasts at various times of the day, various days of the week. But if there's one thing that we all have in common, is an interest in Jamaica. Whereas I generally would address things related to finances, living in the United States where I currently am, I do address things from my home nation. And tonight happens to be one of those nights where we're going to address some things happening in our home nation. The One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation was created to address some of these issues. And hey, Herb, welcome. It's dedicated to defending the threat to democracy and hold public officials accountable. And once you visit the OLJDF website, you will see what the One Jamaica Legal Defense Foundation stands for. It's oljdf.org. And every Saturday, you can catch Will Rattigan at 3 p.m. on Reggae Global Radio and also on YouTube for Reason with Rattigan, where he would address some of the issues that is pretty much troubling Jamaicans worldwide. I want to say big ups to those who are locked in on YouTube right now on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, those who are locked in at the home of the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment. Inviting you all to call a friend, tell a friend, friends of your friends, friends of your enemies, enemies of your friends, and your enemies too. Call up somebody, anybody, everybody. Let them know we're talking tonight right here, community and finance. We're talking about having a call to action. We're not only talking it, we're telling you how it is going to be done. This call to action and what kind of action will be taken. And over what period of time? What period of time are we looking at for this action? 773-789-STEW is the number to get you in touch. 773-789-7839. You can call, text, WhatsApp, Telegram from anywhere in the world. Number gets you in right here, live and in living color. So if you have questions to ask to the members of the panel, go ahead, call up, text up, just connect. Or you can jump into the stew pot. What is the stew pot? Those of you who see it on kevinstew.com, some of you might call it a chat room, but because we're kind of fancy on kevinstew.com, it's called the stew pot. It's where we keep things interactive and bubbling. So come on in. You can remain anonymous if you want to. You can put your name so we know who it is that we're talking with. All right? Cool. So without further ado, we had Dr. Francis up earlier. We see Herb up. Gentlemen, good evening. Welcome to the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew.
Good evening to you, Kevin. Good evening to my fellow panelists, Dr. Francis, Will, and Howard, and Jeffrey. I don't know. I can't see them, so I assume that.
Well,
They're there.
good evening to Herb. Good evening to Jeffrey. Good evening to the man, the Rattigan. That FBI guy.
Mm-hmm.
That everybody's talking about. He says he knows he's better looking than I am, so that's he's hiding there. Lion, Good evening, Lion. And good evening to you, Kevin. Thank you for all that you do, because a lot of people don't know that without you, I don't know if we could be doing all of this. Thank you for that. But
Much respect.
I do. Who wants to start off? Do you want us to say anything right now, or
Hey,
let me just
go ahead.
start
Introduce.
the ball
You're up.
rolling?
So introduce yourself.
Yeah, I'm up. I'm up. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jeffrey, for always reminding me I'm up there. Um, I'm only messing with Jeffrey, ladies and gentlemen. But let me say this to you: that if anybody had told me that a one letter could make such a difference, that everybody's up in arms, I would have been writing letters a long time ago. But it's amazing that I always thought, and I will say this again. I know it's like, sorry,
Go ahead.
I'm amazed to say that I used to say when I was a youngster that the pen is mightier than the sword. I see it, and certainly when the internet came along, I said, well, definitely, with pictures and so on, it's not that might. But I never could believe that people could just home towards a particular letter that was written not by me alone, but a conflagration of all of us coming to. So there are some people out there. There's some people out there who would say that these are not our ideas or not the diaspora's ideas. You are wrong. And if you have not looked at the numbers recently, and you are looking and you're looking at trolls and what trolls are saying, please do not do that, because it is absolutely not the facts. You're not looking at the facts. People in Jamaica, people out of Jamaica, have been calling for change a long time ago. That's why the voting is so low. People have got disinterested because they recognize that if you don't live in certain areas and you don't have a certain amount of clout, monetary clout, and you don't know everybody, and Jeff has a word for that. I'm not going to go there with it. Let him do it. But I'll just share that it's Vumba or something. I don't remember.
The Vumba V's and the Vumba
I think
Bars.
that guy, if he continues that you're going to curse a bad word on that Vumba V will be something. Anyway, moving on. So I'm just saying to you that we're making light of it, but it's not light. We're calling on those people who really love Jamaica. Take a look at yourself. If you really, really love someone, think about what you would go through, what you would do for that person.
Right.
Right? And that is the point. That's all I'm asking of. That letter indicates the crucial aspects of Jamaica and more. Because we could add to that by saying the diaspora is being controlled, admittedly by the statements by the government. I would have thought, and somebody asked me, could we have gone a different route? Should we have gone? Some people are disagreeing, not because of what I have said now, but they say that we could take a different route. Yes, but it's apparent that we can't with this government at all.
Okay, first
But
of all,
we have a government, and it's not just JLP and PNP. If you have any government and they will not listen to the people, we have a problem.
right. So
Because it would appear to me, and we're having that we are servants of the government, whereas it should have been the other way around. We don't like to use the word servant, but it's what's called servant leadership.
it is.
Ladies and gentlemen, you out there, you are smart people. There are 7 million of us in the diaspora, and we methodically send money down to Jamaica. And they're trying to convince me, and I say to you, that the majority of guns going into Jamaica is from the United States. Yes, they may have been manufactured in the United States, but I guarantee you it's not. The border is open. They can't close it. People using the helicopters as them own something rather than go look for people breaking into Jamaica. It is just crazy what is happening. We cannot suffice that anymore. We want the people to understand that they're poor. We just want water, want roads, they want electricity, and what have you. Look at the other thing we could add to it. Renewable energy. We're wasting money on fossil fuels when we have sunshine 24/7, right? When it rains, it pours into Jamaica. But I'm telling you, people with no sunlight are doing so throughout the world. So, and our government is telling us we have to pay 50% of our salaries towards that. I think that that is wrong, and anybody who says that they don't love Jamaica, that is not wrong. They don't love Jamaica. They love themselves.
Let's back up a
Okay?
little
They
bit,
love
Dr.
themselves.
Francis.
Anyway, that's it.
Let's back up a little
I'm
bit.
done for right now.
No,
That's why I wrote the letter. That's why we're having a protest.
that's what I wanted you to back up a little bit for. The letter that you were referring to,
Yes.
for those who because there are some people that don't know anything about the letter, right? So the letter that you're referring to is, give us a summary of that letter for me, please.
The summary is simple. We are calling for the government to look at itself and to cut down the crime and the number one concern in the world and in our neck of the woods in Jamaica. You know, the killing must stop. In the first week of January in 2024, there were 33 persons that were dead by the gun.
The first week.
Okay, that's the first week.
Okay.
So can you imagine if that continues? Okay. Secondly, we are talking about the corruption. When we get money and funds and loans and what have you, the question is, where is it going? Is it going to where it is supposed to go? And we are not trying to say that it is, but we'd love to see how it's being spent. Because we do not believe in all of the. Listen, don't get me wrong. I credit the government on the things that they have done well, like the roads and so on and so forth. Some people disagree with me, but I am saying yes, they did some good stuff. But at the same time, the bad outweighs, in my opinion, bad in terms of not being addressed. Outweighs it. So therefore, that's the corruption. When other people are taking away money, they end up going for the court, and then they're not tried, they're not prosecuted, they end up getting away for scotch-free. Ladies and gentlemen, that cannot continue. The third component is interaction and promises that was made by the government to us in the diaspora. And when I say us, I'm not going by hearsay. I was part of the equation because I was an advisor to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, which they cannot deny. And I was there for quite some time. And we helped formulate the diaspora policy, which has not been implemented. Because if it were implemented, it would mean that we would have some say in what we do. Not some people. I have credit everybody who has given their service. But these youngsters have just gone, these people have just gone on. How long have they been doing it? And we were doing it for many years. They've just come, and yet the minute, instead of talking to us about it, which is the next point, there's no communication, right? And that's the issue. We are saying no communication. You start by trying to throw me off key, trying to give me a name, Mr. What's his name? Mr. Terry Long. Well, I call him Mr. Terry Short because you're short on that one, Mr. Short. You understand me? And you can vex me all you want. I am not you. You should never have them say if you see ants nest, walk around it. Don't go through it.
Right.
Okay, because you don't understand it. Okay, and then that hurt. And because when you think you're demeaning somebody who gave their service for free. For those years we gave it for free. I paid my own ticket, went to the hotel myself, buy my own meals. No, and, to help Jamaica. How many people did that? Okay,
I don't know.
The fourth one has to deal with the delayed promises to do whatever they say they're going to do with the diaspora. And we're still waiting. And there is more, but I'm not going to go, as I said before, into those areas right now because there's more I could have put. I love the number 7, and you will see those on the posters as you come on Friday morning to Friday afternoon. You will see those. Thank you for the opportunity.
Dr. Francis, what is your involvement in the diaspora?
Well, I am the head of the Jamaica Diaspora Crime Intervention and Prevention Task Force. And you know what I can't understand. I ask people to read about it and what we have done and what we haven't done.
Right.
This has been around from 2000, was acknowledged by the government. What should I say? Was given the credence to go forward by the government. And now you're saying it's not legitimate or something to that effect. Or, I'm not representing. Well, what can I tell you? We are representing not only our clientele or not clientele, our people, but we're representing all the other peoples in the diaspora if necessary. And those who don't I can't represent, well, that's fine. I understand. But if you don't think that is important, then what can I tell you?
When was
So
the
that's a crime
organization?
task force, which is multifaceted, my friend. Yes.
When was the task force formed, and when was it recognized?
It was conceived in 2000. Wrong. In 15. 2015. That's correct. It was conceived in 2015 by an illustrious Mr. Herb Nelson and myself. We started it out, and then within a month, we had maybe about 300-400 persons who
Right.
had expertise in criminal justice and what have you. All we had criminal justice, psychiatrists, psychologists, because we recognize that's a multifaceted approach towards crime solution. And furthermore, I taught criminology at the school that I taught as a professor. And I've had exposure. I was the head of the military police in the Jamaica Defense Force military and force security officer. So all of those, my experience and training. And so we got together, all of us. We didn't, we chose males, females, and so on. And so we chose people from the United States and all over England and all that. So we came together. So that's when it started at that time.
And when did the government recognize it?
Right away.
Okay.
Immediately.
Cool.
We have information to prove that we did get right, and it was under the Minister Montague. We began earnestly.
Okay.
Yes.
Good. Herb, you had popped up a while ago, just before Dr. Francis started. You've been on this program before, so you're not a stranger. But for those who might be tuning in for the first time, it was just mentioned how you were in intelligence. But come on and introduce yourself for us a little bit, and talk to us about this call to action.
Yeah, good evening to you again, Kevin, and the panel, and to your fantastic listeners. Now, I spent 24 years in the U.S. Army, and I retired in 1996, 1 November. I went on to serve another 15 and a half years in the U.S. intelligence, and I retired from that in May of 2013. And since then, I've said to myself, how do you effectively give back? Rather than try to go out there and find another job that pays six figures, go ahead and give back to the community. And that community, of course, I could not bypass it. I'd served with the Jamaica Progressive League. I'd served in New York, in Queens. I'd served with the Jamaican Association of Greater Houston. All of these are formative groups that we had put together to help the population and to expand people's knowledge of Jamaica, because we're proud. We're very proud of our island. And so with the things that I've been doing as a citizen in affecting better U.S. Caribbean relations, because right now I'm the board chair for the crime and security at the Institute of Caribbean Studies. And that takes me into looking across the Caribbean at crime and talking to various members of the national security ministries about effective methodologies to alleviate crime. And so writing up a plan for Jamaica back in 2015 into 2016 was pretty elementary, because the methodologies I'd used while I was on active duty and serving in the city of Houston, serving in New York City was simple. You get involved in the community. What better sport than to bring at least 22 people together, 11 aside, and then you have reserve. So when you have several teams, you can have up to 4 dozen people in a club, a soccer club. And then you get to talk to people about the various challenges in life and to see what ails them, see what is wrong within the community and how we can make a positive contribution to our communities. So I did that for a while, and I said, this should be able to work in Jamaica as well. We briefed that program called Safer Cities, Smarter Communities in Jamaica. And when we briefed the program, they were glad to have us because they were going into Montego Bay with the very first ZOSO.
Mm-hmm.
So we briefed the program and we spoke about the program working if you are going to contribute to that community for at least 3 to 5 years. And then they informed me, surprisingly, that they could only help communities for up to a year and then they had to move on. So nothing was said to them took hold within the last, I would say, 5 years after we briefed them, 5, 6 years after we had briefed them.
Mm-hmm.
It was only last year they came up with this Project Star, where the other people were briefed was the private sector. And this included the current General Secretary at JFF, Dennis Chung. And he was at the time within the private sector organization. And we briefed them about the safer cities by developing smarter communities, how you can get communities, just like the CMOC, the Crime Management Committee that they have.
Yes.
You can have the CDC, which they have today.
Mm-hmm.
And you can have all businesses, all social services, all citizens who have the wherewithal to come together, form be positive role models for their community, and to contribute to the communities at large. It wasn't very difficult. And so I'm happy to see them finally doing it now. Now, the fact that they've been so wayward in not applying the programs that we gave them, and the fact that we at the ICS figured out pretty quickly in most Caribbean islands where the communities are losing control due to with crime, it's because there's no trickle down in the economy. In other words, if there's funding given to the countries,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an expectant trickle down of those funds in the form of programs, in the form of job training, in the form of youth development programs. It's not happening. And when that doesn't happen, then you have these communities getting very violent with each other within the community, even within families. And the Commissioner of Police has spoken about this before, that families are one of the main reasons why the murder rate in Jamaica is so high. And then the other thing you have is that other family of scammers.
Mm-hmm.
So when you double cross each other, and if you can't get quirky, you catch him shut, right?
Right.
So you go after not one family member, not two, not three. They're killing 5 or 6 family members because somebody kept pay off money and didn't make a distribution.
Mm-hmm.
So this is the kind of stuff that the Safer Cities was meant to impact, to organize the communities. I've seen the program work in Grand Spend in Kingston.
Right.
Mured, he got a grant from USAID. They were able to build a Grand Spend health clinic. They were able to build a community center at the Upper Room Church where they play basketball and they play soccer.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And as a pastor, he brings these young people together in fellowship. They receive counseling. They have classrooms where they get different forms of training. And the bottom line is they are a community because these young people are talking to each other. When young people don't come together and speak to each other, then you're going to have a constant state of warfare. Why? Because they feel that this group is taken away from that group, and there's jealousy involved,
Right, right.
and ends up in shooting and stabbings and other form of violence. So this is, I feel, has been my call to action, and working with the panel here has been a blessing. And we tend to identify the corruption and identify the corruptors, and with the intent to help good people make the country of Jamaica whole again, as well as other Caribbean islands I've worked with.
Okay, we're gonna touch on that too. Um, as there's strength in numbers, there are a few more people on this panel that need to come on and say their hellos. Jeffrey, I'm gonna call you out because your name was also mentioned. Carlos, you can line up yourself here, sir. Lion, Tigo, welcome to the broadcast. You guys can line up yourselves too. Um,
Yeah.
and Rebel, you also. Okay, we get to see the Make We Talk logo tonight. All right, cool, no problem. It didn't do you here today. I get to understand.
I can't get the Mexico logo behind me. So that's why I'm let the logo stay. Go ahead.
Oh, all right. Go, you go ahead. You have been championing the cause for the people in the diaspora too, along with other people on this panel. What has been your involvement, and what do you have to say about the call to action? This call to action here.
It's been a long time coming. And the Jamaican people, as I always said, the change that we seek as a people never come from the two political parties in Jamaica. That's to come from us as a people. And the fundamental changes that we all seek remain in the hands of the Jamaican people. As what the American ambassador and the British ambassador put out a statement, a joint statement,
Right.
that the corruption that Jamaica face, it lies in the hands of the Jamaican people to solve the corruption problem in our country. And we the people, the American Constitution speaks about we the people. But I'm pretty much sure we the Jamaican people can adopt that part of Constitution and say, enough is enough. We've stand by from 1962 until now, swapping black dog for monkey, and nothing has been done to solve Jamaica's crime pandemic. And when you look at it, the people who live below Crossroads, they are the ones who are getting the hard brunt of the law. And the people who live in Cherry Garden, as I dub them, the people of the Vumbaba and the Vumbabee,
Right.
they get away scot-free because people, they're being secured by the police officers of our country, while the people who live below Crossroad is being gunned down like blackbird day in, day out. It's 13 days at the start of this year. And 33 people have been murdered in our country already. And yet they're saying to us that we are the one, or Wilfred Radigan, or Jeffrey Tavares, or Herb Nelson, or Rupert Francis, the one who is mashing up Jamaica's brand overseas. Well, let me say this. If we're the one who's mashing up the brand overseas, then the government of Jamaica should do something about the news community of Jamaica then. Because what we do is to listen to the news and we read from the news. The
Right.
Green Company, The Observer, and a well-known Jamaican radio station, and when they're given their news, those are the things that come out of Jamaica. How on earth can you look at a country and tell us that the crime is going down 13 days in the start of 2024, and 33 Jamaicans have been murdered in this country? And you have the audacity to be looking at us and saying that we are the one who's mashing up the brand and the image of Jamaica. Mr. Prime Minister, you have not filed a declaration as yet, sir. Is that mashing up the brand in this country? You, sir. You are the one who's mashed up the image of Jamaica, not we. We stand up for the poor class of Jamaicans, and we'll continue to do so because we will not run. We will not back down from no one. We are Jamaicans and we remain Jamaicans. And so I said tonight on this platform, let's continue to fight the fight that we see, that we will continue fighting. And the change that we seek as a people, let us continue to fight for that change. There's no coincidence that today is Martin Luther King's birthday. And in the week of Martin Luther King's birthday, members of the Jamaican diaspora decided that enough is enough. We're going to take to the streets, on the sidewalk in front of the Jamaican embassy, or Jamaican consulate in Miami. And we're going to send a clear and decisive message to the government of Jamaica and to the People's National Party, to the Governor General, that enough is enough. We, the Jamaican people, will not stand by no longer and let the innocent blood of Jamaicans flow down the street as if there is no tomorrow. We will not stand by and allow that. So we will continue to fight for the fight of our people because our people deserve better. I yield back to the moderator. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Thank you. We have the Rebel, Ratigan. We have the Lion. We have Tigo. Tigo, I'm going to call on you. Thank you for joining us. Introduce yourself to us and talk to us a little bit about your thought process as it relates to this call to action. And where are you joining us from?
I'm joining from Florida, up in Port St. Lucie. Right, I go by the famous saying of the Minister of Misinformation, never trust the words of a politician. All my life growing up in Jamaica.
Yes.
Like going to senior school and thing, I never liked the way I see my friends and dying around me from Waterhouse. True politics. So I never get caught up in it. But I know that the country was running right because for your friend them to just where you grew up, we just make the wrong move and they just start pass. So we don't go to jail, die. We go through a rough life.
Right.
And everything is true politics. And I, out of the two parties since I'm growing up and become a man, I never see them do anything special for the people. They might set up certain community and look good. But what about the rest of the country? And we start diverting from self-reliance. We was one of the biggest exporters citrus. We stopped doing that. But I can't just blame the politician. I have to blame the people. Because the people have the power. They're the one who vote in the politicians. They're the one should vote out the politician. That's why the American and the English government said Jamaica and their citizens have to fix the corruption. That is our responsibility. But the thing is, these people playing dodgeball, the people in power right now, the GLP, because everything you guys try to do or we try to do, they counter it. So what we got to do, we got to be the best chess player. But there's nothing good in politics because they're about themselves. These leaders is about themselves, not the people. Even the kids them can't even get to go to school in Jamaica. Certain part of the country, the rural area, you can't even drive. You have a precipice. You know, you put a coat on the street, you back up the whole street, and there's a precipice there next door to the left or the right.
Right.
These are things that the politicians don't look into. Water. People still using outside toilet and all. People still can't even get drinking water, clean drinking water. How much dam we have in Jamaica? How much water pollution treatment plant we have in Jamaica? We don't have none of these things. If we do have it, maybe one dam, these are the infrastructure work we have to look about and take care. But these politicians lying in them pocket. They don't care about the Jamaican people. So therefore, Jamaican people must get up and stand up and fight for their rights. And when I say fight, it's not physical fight. It's spiritual fight, verbal, get up, demonstrate. When we do our thing here, them show some solidarity in Jamaica. Because if we don't do that, we're going to lose the country. We're already losing the country because all these, Jamaica is just a milking cow and a place that where you wash money. And all these other nations coming in the country and doing their thing, making money. But the citizen of Jamaica not making a dollar. They can't even get access to their own beaches. That's not a good thing. I remember when I was young, they call it bus ride here, we call it outing in Jamaica.
Right.
Duns River was one of the best places, and Puerto Rico. We always pick them two places. And I heard, I don't know how true it is, that we lease out Duns River. I don't know how true that is. If we do that, we're dumb. You don't lease out the place. It's a tourist attraction. So the bottom line is that the Jamaican cannot afford to go in a hotel, all inclusive, to get access to the beach. So we have to fix these problems. So
Right.
I'm 100% with the Jamaica One Legal Fund and the demonstration. Because like Carlos said, Jamaican Carlos said, if the Jamaican people are scared to get up, let's do it for them. So this is General Costa last stand. We're going to do it for them. This have to work. It's going to work. All right? So all we have to do is promote it.
Right.
When we're out there, we'll make sure we look out for each other. We're going to pray and meditate on it, that we have a great turnout, but we're going to look out for each other and hold each other back. But this must stop because I'm retired. I want to go back home. And I have to just stick around because as soon as you land on somebody here, and with the dormant of the account, the dormant at least 3 account for me already.
What do you
I
mean?
go down there with all my information, trying to put money in the account, and she said, I have to go get a JP side. I said, for what? I'm giving you my information, I'm giving you my ID. So we have to fix all of these things. All of the banks bellying up, and what is the NCB, all of them bellying up. And they're taking away people's money. People work hard for their money.
Yes.
So we're doing a great thing, and with the power and the energy of the universe, we're gonna survive. We're gonna survive through it. All right, my brothers, I'm here.
right.
Thank you.
All right, much respect, Tigo. Carlos, Jamaican Carlos, your name got mentioned just now. So as we go down the line and get a touch, an introduction to who is on this panel tonight, give us a speech. Introduce yourself and talk to us a bit about what you have been doing in the diaspora and this call to action, your involvement.
Good evening, everybody on the panel.
Blessings.
You see, I'm a youth grew up in Jamaica, and I used to run up and down with PNP. They come from a household where PNP do no wrong. A labor do every wrong in Jamaica. PNP can't do no wrong. Until I travel overseas with a bird eye view, I see different.
Right.
And then realize that both of them are the same. They may also look at every election time here, the PNP, I say, them have a long bag of corruption, name them out with the PNP. And here the PNP have a long bag of corruption with the Labour right do. When each one come in, we have a chance to change the trajectory. Nobody make a difference. Nobody make a change, But them players, these things let me look at. These people are players. I'm start my page, I'm start speak up against these things from a long time. Here we know some beat the drum and we jump out here. Back then, just both of us two alone, and at a lonely place, and it wasn't something
right
at that time. And it's corruption. So we realize that people in Jamaica can speak up. Somebody call them from Jamaica, and they might tell us something. Somebody in the house and say, "Hey, quiet, take time, talk." Like they don't want the wall hear them because Jamaica, people tell me story. They are scared. So we realize that we have to stand up for Jamaican people. And in doing so, we are standing up for ourselves too. Because if Jamaican people are strong, we can go back to Jamaica quicker and faster and more safer.
Right.
You understand me? Corruption, which is number one, corruption breeds crime. Any country that have a widespread corruption, that is
right.
I mean. can't go back to Jamaica because of the crime and in our Jamaican.
Yeah, you're cutting out. You're cutting out, Carlos.
Hold on, let me put on my I'm turn on my Bluetooth.
Yes.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, man.
You guys hear me? All
Yes.
right, no. They use Bluetooth now. So the British, corruption breeds crime, and even the politicians are involved. And there are reports that British ambassador said that the Jamaican politicians are bringing guns in the island along with other things. And it stated that when the Canadian authorities and British American authorities do the same research, they come up with the same results. I've not seen any investigation so far. We have $100 million US that is cannot be accounted for at Clarendon Alumina Production Limited, which is $15.4 billion. National Work Agency is another $10 billion in cost overrun. They have Cornwall Regional Hospital, another $10 billion in cost overrun. I don't know if it's true mismanagement, misappropriation, or corruption. And they have the 300% pay raise on top of the people. And we see all these things. And all these things that you may tell about, the $15.4 billion, the $10 billion, the other $10 billion, that's $35.4 billion right there, so along with the pay raise. And guess what? They've just locked down the only school for special needs kids in Jamaica. Tell me why we must not go out there and stand up for Jamaica. Tell me why. Not to mention what they did to Bolt, who is the original brand for Jamaica. There's no other brand like the brand Usain Bolt. Look what they did to him. So, therefore, we have to stand up for our country, doing it for our grandkids, not for us, not for our rice and flour.
Right,
you know,
right.
We are not being propelled and funneled by no politician. This is the first time we as Jamaican ever stand up for ourselves without politicians sending us a bus, sending us our money to buy lunch, sending us an orange or a green T-shirt with some money rolled up in it. Politicians only make we move. All my life in Jamaica, I'm a big man now, you know, I'm 53. And all my life is only politicians make we gather and can pull out the crowd. So no, we said, make we do something for ourselves. Make we put we elbow grease night. As brothers, as sisters, let's do this for our country. And here we are. Pow. Over to you, my brother.
All right. Much respect, sir. Mr. Rattigan. Rebel. Wait. Will not hear anymore? Did we lose him?
Can't hear you.
No, I'm here. I'm going to unmute the mic.
Rebel, unmute. I don't know why I'm not hearing him now. All right.
Kevin, you can't hear me now.
Okay.
Kevin.
Yeah, man. There you are.
Hello?
Yeah, man. Hearing you loud and clear now.
Hello?
Yeah. Will, are you hearing us?
Yeah, we hear you.
We're hearing you,
We
man.
hear you.
You're good.
Speak.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, man.
We
You're
hear
good. Oh, apparently
hear me,
he's not.
right?
Apparently he's not hearing us. Yeah, man. You're good.
Yeah, okay, good. No, what I was going to suggest to you is that Lion's internet is spotty. It's in and out. So now that you have him, you can talk to him because he might cut out again.
All right. So, Lion, you up. Let's hear from you.
Well, yes, good evening, brethren, everyone listening. A good suggestion, Ratty, because I am here sentimentally. It looks like it only lasted for about 15 seconds and chip out 15. Anyway,
Yes.
Lion is in the house. Howard Martin Goldberg, the name on this birth certificate. I have known Rattigan for umpteen of years. Let's say that. More than half a century is umpteen of years.
Right.
This particular panel that is on now, I have been acquainted with by God's grace in a struggle that is so necessary. This particular protest is not just a mere protest to have voices being heard, but
Jamaica is faced with an invasion of domestic terrorism. And let's call a spade a spade. And the elephant that is in the room, let us not be afraid to speak about it. It is indeed
All right, look like we lost Lion for a moment.
fulfilling all the qualifications of
Okay.
domestic terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
We have pipe bombs missing. That is so significant.
Mm-hmm.
There's not even a peep about it. Something is going on. So this demonstration is not just to have voices heard. We are saving lives by having the light shed upon Jamaica to this extent, whereby many of these plans will be thwarted in the interest of the prevention of the further bloodshed, gallons of bloodshed,
Right.
that this particular political system in Jamaica from 1944 until now, let's face it, has been constantly producing. We have been subjected to a political system that requires blood sacrifice. Let's call a spade a spade.
Mm-hmm.
And enough blood has been shed in vain. Only if we remain silent. And I think this call to action is not only a momentous occasion, but it is unprecedented. And I use the opportunity to call upon the consciences of all well-thinking Jamaicans, wherever you are, near and far, even in Alaska.
Mm-hmm.
Put on a white t-shirt if you don't have a Jamaican colors t-shirt. Step out of the partisan political box, whether you're PMP or JLP, traditionally. And think
Boy, Lion, internet acting up over there. Lion,
we can only
okay,
yield
you're back.
the truth.
Let me ask you this real quick, since your internet is spotty. You're in Jamaica right now,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Right? Am I correct? Lion, you hearing me? Howard, you hearing me? Are you hearing me? Look like we're losing Howard. He's not hearing me. All right. Yeah, we lost Howard. Howard is not hearing us.
I am, you know,
All right. Rebel,
Yes, sir.
you let me see. Have I covered everybody up to this point? You're the last one. You're the last man standing.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, by the way, Jeffrey Tavares left us. He had to attend to some important matters. So
Okay.
he's gone.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you can take him off of the screen. And then Lion will rejoin us. Carlos is still here.
Right.
Tigo is still here.
Tigo is still here.
I don't see Captain Francis. I don't see him.
Well, I'm sure
Oh,
he'll
there
pop
he
back
is.
in. He'll pop back in.
Yeah, I see him. I see him.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Rebel, you out of this group here, people who have been tuning into the night shift to DJ Kevin Stew have heard you, and they have heard Herb. Everybody else they're hearing for the first time. Some people didn't know some of these people existed. And that there are this many people that at any given time would be so concerned about what is going on in Jamaica, let alone to have the kind of pull to and resources that they could to organize and go up against a whole government. What is it about this call to action? Yes, it has never happened anywhere before as it relates to Jamaica. There has never been and this call to action, we've been talking about it from the beginning of the broadcast. Those of you that are listening in wondering what the call to action is, it's well, for this week, it is kicking off and saying, hey, we're going to stand up and we're going to protest. We collectively. And this group will be meeting on the sidewalk in front of the Jamaican consulate down in Miami. There are some people who have been saying, but why there? And one person said to me today, that I was talking to about it, why not just pick up a donation and send the money down to Jamaica so that the squaddies can get some vehicles so they can go out and do some policing? And my response to that was, didn't we try that before? And look where we are now. So this here is something that is brand new to the issues in Jamaica. What has been the driving force for you yourself, Ratigan?
Mm-hmm. Well, let me just say that that inspiring phrase, call to action, if my memory serves me correctly, the first time I heard it in this context was Jamaican Carlos who mentioned it. We were a group of us, we were having a discussion, and we were just talking about, ideas as to how we can make Jamaica better for Jamaicans, particularly those living at home. And I maybe someone else said it, but to the best of my recollection, he was the one who uttered that phrase. And I said, wow, and then we started to improve on that phrase, of course, with Carlos. And then we came up with the idea, and I think Carlos was the one who spearheaded it, but we came up with the idea that we needed to do something more than just talk. And even lawsuits, they're effective, but they're time consuming, and they can stretch your resources as well. Mm-hmm. And we decided that a protest would be a very economical and effective way to get the message across. And also talking to your lawmakers about applying some of the existing laws against the corrupt leadership in Jamaica. But going to your question as to how did I end up here? Mm. What caused me to be a part of this? If you had asked me 3 years ago, or if you had told me 3 years ago I would be in this position, I would have said you're joking, because I had no interest in Jamaican politics. Right. And it was like a year and a half, 2 years ago, I started thinking, about, how I started hearing horror stories about Jamaica from relatives and friends. And in the diaspora, we used to just sit back and just criticize Jamaica. And then it dawned on me that, you need to get involved. No, I tried to get involved back in 2012, 13. Mm-hmm. That didn't work out, and I tried 2 other times to get involved. And then I had kind of like given up. And then all of this started taking place, and it's almost like something went off in my head and said, look, if you're not part of the solution, then you are a problem, right? Because if you all you do is just talk about talk about the problems, and the thing is that the conversations I had with people, they were pretty predictable. We would talk about crime, poverty, corruption, blah blah blah. Right. And at the end of the day, there was we talk about, well, yeah, maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. But essentially, it came back to talking to the government about changing itself. And then we realized, no, that's not going to work. So what I did was I actually went to Jamaica and I tried to get sponsorship for a radio program so that I could start broadcasting my feelings, my desires, my aspirations for Jamaica. And then also bring, experts in so that we could just talk about the issue. But then it would just be more talking.
Right.
Anyway, that didn't work out. Fortunately, Reggae Global Radio, of which you're a part of, decided that it wasn't such a bad idea to have Rattigan come on and talk. And again, I'm eternally indebted to you and for what you do on a Saturday and your inspiration from the time I met you till now. And people like Joanna Marie, God bless her, the headmaster, Ed Robinson, and the rest of G. Cole and the rest of the folks, Millie, Dangerous, and
Marlon.
forgive me if I forget, Marlon, yeah. So you guys decided to give me a chance because it's not, Reggae Global Radio is not really a talk internet radio station. It's known for playing reggae. And so you guys said, what the heck, let's give him a shot. And that catapulted me into the realm of being an internet person. Right. And as a result of that exposure, I ended up, I knew her before, and I knew Captain Francis before, but then ended up meeting people like Jamaican Carlos and Jeffrey Tavares, Wayne Lonesome, and a few other people. And it's been a learning experience for me. People, they tune in every Saturday and they say, we tune in to be educated. But it's also a learning experience for me because I learned from these gentlemen I just mentioned. Yes. Oh, and Maria as well. Mm-hmm. Can't forget her. I learn every time I come on and they're on, I learn. Even tonight when I'm sitting, I'm listening to Lion and Carlos and Herb and Captain and Tigo. And I learn every. So I come to the microphone with two purposes. One is to disseminate information and the other is to receive. Mm-hmm. And by doing that, I've gained a tremendous appreciation for the issues. And I'm sincerely thankful to these men and women, because there's one, actually there's more than one. There's a fantastic five. How could I forget? But we have a fellowship of sorts where we may not agree. Well, we don't agree on all the issues, but there are certain issues that we are in, we speak with one voice. We're in concert on those issues. And one of them is to hold government accountable, because if you look at the amount of money that have gone into Jamaica, particularly since 2016 till now, it's a lot of money. Yes. And if they had been spending the money as directed by the donor agencies and the loan organizations, Jamaica would have been a much better place. But instead, the money has been misappropriated. Sad to say. Just this week we found out, or last week we found out, that $100 million cannot be accounted for. $100 million cannot be accounted, and that's money that the government allegedly received over the last 4 years. And this is just another incident, we believe, of corruption. I mean, pick any donor, any donor funds Jamaica received in the last 6-7 years or so, and you're probably gonna find fault in terms of accountability with it. Just look at the loans during COVID. Look at the grants during COVID. Look at donor funds, technical services, and loans prior and post-COVID. And you're going to find that Jamaica received a lot of money. Where is that money? And that's a question we've been asking. And we've also looked at issues like the Prime Minister's, he cannot get his his statutory declarations, his financial declarations, they haven't been verified in the last 2 years. We have the case of the illicit 6 plus 28. Well, it's actually less than 28 because they've referred some of them for they've tabled some of the reports. We haven't heard anything from the Integrity Commission. Now that's a failed institution right there, or failing institution. We have porous borders. We have airplanes flying in, violating our airspace without being challenged. They crash, cargo disappear,
Crew disappear.
passengers disappear. Yeah. We have Haitians coming in. Even though we have a $60-something million boat patrolling our waters, we have Haitians. They're coming on a raft. People don't see them. And then they're seen walking on the street. People have to call the authorities and say, listen, we have some Haitians walking on the street. And then when they pick up the Haitians, they don't offer them, refugee privileges then. They just scoop them up and send them right back where they came from, which is a violation of international law. We have the situation with the JCF, the men and women who put their lives on the line, they're not being paid overtime. And when Chairman Rowan James, he challenged the system, what did they do? They didn't fix the overtime thing. Instead, they sent him home. Now they claim they fixed it, but people are still not being paid. And the court, told him, resume your position. And then the government said, we're going to appeal that decision. So there's an appeal tomorrow, which will be heard. And it's about the reinstatement of Chairman Rowan James, the real police commissioner. And I mean, I could just go on and on and on. And after a while, you just say, I'm just sick and tired of being sick and tired. I'm going to do something about it. And thank God for these gentlemen, for their inspiration. That and especially Captain Francis, who, he sent out that letter and it's caused a stir. And if you think about it, that one letter, and he said it, that one letter he sent out caused more consternation, more stir, more attention than everything, not anything, everything we've done in the as far back as I can remember. Just one letter. So, Kevin, let me just conclude by saying that this, Lion will tell you that it's an ordained thing. And I believe him, because a few years ago, I was just busy hanging out, playing Ludi up in New York. I'd drive up to New York, play Ludi, drive 3.5 hours just to play Ludi, and then drive back home. And a dear friend of mine who's listening right now, she sent me a comment. D, thank you very much. Much appreciated. Sent me a comment and said, one time she said to me that, this is where God wants you to be. And she sent me a comment tonight saying that, listen, you're with a I'm paraphrasing now, you're with a decent group of men with a solid purpose. Not that I didn't enjoy playing Ludi, but I enjoyed playing Ludi, but I love doing what I'm doing now. And you know the saying, find a job you love.
And you never work a day.
Never work a day in your life.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Yep. Now, to all the members of the panel tonight, what is some of the feedback you've been getting since since last week when the permit was granted for the protest, and now the talk started about the protest happening? What's some of the feedback you've been getting from people that you've been interacting with? And I told you, I will start with the one that I got today from a group that I am in on WhatsApp, where someone, I put up the flyer for the protest, and the newspaper article that came out in the Gleaner, which speaks to the protest, that has Dr. Francis's picture big and bold, and he laughed. He's in Jamaica, and he laughed. And that was a statement he made. I mentioned it earlier. Why don't y'all just get together, pick up some donations, and send some money for the squaddies to get some vehicles? What's some of the feedback that you guys have been getting as you talk about this protest happening?
But before we start about the feedback, and let me just interject and just say, the person who tell you that we should collect money and send it to Jamaica so that the squatters can buy some vehicles, ask him about the vehicles that the government paid for and they haven't received yet, going back to 2016. Also, ask him about the money that the government received about 3 months ago from the government of Japan to buy, I think, 34 vehicles and like 3 or 4 ambulances. Ask him, we don't need to send, that's what I'm saying to you, Jamaica has received enough money to take care of the country. So with us sending money down there and say buy vehicles and this and that, who knows what's going to happen? Because but during COVID, they did a telethon and they raised over $400,000, which was given to a minister. And to date, the minister has not given an account where that money went. Had not. So the idea of sending money to government and buying vehicles and all that, I can't support that. I just cannot support that. Gentlemen, I'll step aside so you can answer. Maybe the captain can answer. Kevin's question is, what feedback have you received for the article, from the article, or from the publication of the article?
Yeah, from the article, from even putting out that the protest is going to happen.
Yeah, it is going to. Let me tell you something. People don't want the protest to happen because they don't want to show, to expose the dirty linen in public. If you have a sore foot to cover it, you don't go get local treatment. The problem is it's been very mixed, but mostly positive than negative. People are afraid for what these people can do to us or themselves or whatever it is. And so they have to talk hush hush. But there are people who have a conscience in there. A lot of people, I'm telling you, you'll be surprised to know. And I think you'll see a lot of them on Friday at the protest. And the point I'm trying to make is that we are protesting in an area that exists a shining star in a sense for the current government. And some people, it's just a question that, here's the joke. Here's not a joke. It's a serious thing. We did not want it to go to this land, but we knew it would because the government decides that they don't listen. If my colleague, my former colleague, my current colleague, Dr. Chang can look at me, Chang, when I and said to me that, listen to me, you were just a captain in the army, and right now we have we have the best force and we have best people, and we have a general in charge. Well, what he failed to recognize that had I proverbially rolled on the general, he would not be alive today to talk about it. You understand me? So the fact is, I'm much senior to these people, and they think that people deter with age, they deteriorate with age, and they have nothing to offer, and that sort of thing. But if you look at the situation, is that we've had officers. One of the things that we can say is that about leadership. It's very, very important. I remember I was a Queen Scout. Yes, and we had a motto: trusted, loyal, helpful, brotherly, courteous, kind, obedient, smiling, thrifty, clean in thought, word, and mind. Now, I didn't keep all of them, but trusty, loyal, helpful. In other words, you must have a conscience. You must have a conscience. How much is enough, right? Am I my brother's keeper, right? Suffer the children to come unto me. All that sort of, we learn these things. Are we doing it? Or it's only our children that are important? You see what I'm saying? And you have to say to yourself, when you have young girls, their throats being cut, they're being raped, they disappear. Boys are being, you're being sodomized. And the judge gives them just a pat in the wrist for what? Say, go do it again? Listen to me. This goes deep. And there are too many connections. There are things that are happening in the island. I don't have to tell everybody. It's happening. It's there. We've seen it I remember the other day they beat a girl right on the ground. Everybody's, oh Lord have mercy. Is that what happened? Yes, it is. I've seen a little boy, right, have a stone, want to hit a girl in a classroom, and he's throwing stones, and the teacher's trying to stop him, and they can't stop him. He's that angry. How could he get to that point? Well, because the government failed to listen. This government failed to listen when we brought the thing to their attention, that it was this direction it was going. Now you want to establish ministries, billions of dollars. Ministry to go and do for the Constitution, ministry this, ministry for that. And Cornwall Regional Hospital is still on its side. Hardly can hold its head up. So what do we say now? So we sit there and watch more and more Cornwall Regionals? Do we watch more and more people die? 33 for the first? No, we must not. We cannot if we have a conscience. We cannot if we want to look our children in the faces. Okay, we have, so let me make it quite, guys, the former colleagues, or current colleagues, if you continue this way, you can build all these stone mountains, all these hotels, but they're for one purpose only, and you said it in the article that came from Gallup, which I don't know who paid for, but the fact of the matter that says the poorest are the safest in the world. Yes, but what about the people? What about the people? And we heard a story today about this guy was telling us the story about, how he went and some people are doing good in the various hotels. Yes, a few. But we have intelligent people out there, intelligent young people. And if they had a chance, they wouldn't have to scam. Right. They could use those talents just like how the Indians did, and they could be running the world as the Indians are. From India, that is. Ladies and gentlemen, I put it to you that if you love your Christ, if you love Jesus, if you love any spiritual figure, anybody, and you have anything within you, whatever, please understand that we will be held accountable for what we do to the least among us. I'm no preacher. But I'm asking you to think about these things. Stop this green and red. Indicate that we want government of the people, by the people, for the people. Right? And ask not what you can do for your country, but what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. Don't forget, today is Martin Luther King's birthday. Birthday.
Yes, birthday.
And we must remember him as one of the really beautiful persons that existed. And I am saying to you, we must remember him and do what he did. And ladies and gentlemen, if we had done that and stick together, one last point I want to make here right now is that we must work together as a people. We must stop dividing and ruling, and we must help our brothers. What is so wrong to see our brothers rise? Everybody think that I'm talking about I was on a program and I was talking about, I did this. Well, I didn't mean because I'm trying to show off. Everybody knows what I do. And I don't ask for a penny to do it.
Right.
So what? Judge me for that. Let's be judged. Thank you.
Some people have it to say that what is happening in the diaspora now is a political move. So anybody that is speaking up is doing so for the opposition party, so that they can look good, so that they can smear the ruling party, and the opposition party can get a shoe in.
Well, I'm sure a lot of people would say that, but in my case, for example, why would I say that? When I served the current government for so many years, And furthermore, let me make it quite clear. This is a sign to the government. If there's a change or whatever, we're not calling that. That's not why we're here. We are saying any government that sits in the seat of government, anybody, they will be held accountable as well.
Right.
And this is a sign. And let me make it quite clear. There are laws that have been broken in the United States by our government. And I don't know if they're not aware of it, but
Is it
whoever is
just in the
guiding
United
them
States,
is
though?
guiding them wrong.
Is it
And
just
the
in the
last point
United
I want to
States?
make, again, for this conversation is, when I sent out that letter, why? I said to the Audrey Marks, because the thing happened on her show, Let's Connect. I saw Jeffrey Tavares hold up his hand proverbially for over 2 hours, and she didn't call on him. Okay? And you're going to tell me you could not, you know who I am, you know where I am, you could have not have sent, okay, let's talk. Just that? Let's talk.
Right.
No, nobody said that. No, they could get away with propagandizing, with demeaning my character, demeaning what I've done, and other people, and so nobody would believe it. Nobody. I'm too popular. Who would believe that? Well, I'm sure you're going to open your eyes wide when you see the response globally, because when we leave this, we're going into Washington, we're going into New York, we're going into Canada, we're going into UK, everybody. And believe you me, already, they're calling and wanting to come. One person right now is coming there from way back where, is coming right to the thing on Friday. So we know at least one person more will be there. Thank you very much.
Right. So comment here on YouTube is, and good evening, Debbie. Whoever says this is a political move is a buffoon. They are criminal sympathizers. It's there's something that I have said in private circles, and I'll say it out loud right now. I have always asked certain questions when it relates to politics. I don't talk politics typically on this broadcast. It is around personal health, self-actualization, human trafficking, wrongful incarceration, mental health. These are some of the things that I address mainly on my broadcasts. And each of those things touch on this, because what is happening in Jamaica is a lot of people are suffering from PTSD. We won't want to admit it, but this is what is happening. And and we're talking about generational trauma. And Rattigan has done an amazing thing when he brought on individuals who work in the mental health field to address those issues. And this is because people in Jamaica are seriously suffering from it. And we have to change our mentality. And this is one of the reasons I had asked all of you who were available to come on tonight to say something about this call to action. One, because again, it is unprecedented. It has never happened before as it relates to the government of Jamaica. So people are asking what difference this will make. We don't know. Nobody knows what difference this will make because this has never been done. However, the people who are on this panel, the people who are supporters of what is happening, supporters of this change, are willing to see it out to the end. That much I know. And for me, a big part of this involves a change in mindset. We have to understand that, as Dr. Francis was just saying, it doesn't really matter which party in power. The government needs to be held accountable. And the people of Jamaica need to understand that we are the ones that have the power. If we didn't have the power, they wouldn't have to come to us for us to vote for them to put them in that seat. So they depend on us. And we can't be swayed by a 6-piece box of chicken to give some support. It doesn't make sense. Swayed by public works coming through and patching a one pothole because you can't even call it a pothole anymore because as deep as it is when rain falls, you can swim in it. No. That doesn't mean that they're doing some work. They're doing what they're supposed to be doing anyway. It doesn't have to, not because it happened around election time. That's a time that is going to make a difference. No. And if they do it, that should tell you something as a people. That told me something as a child. I never voted in Jamaica. I never did. And as a child, I wasn't interested in doing so either. And so I have to think about the children that are in Jamaica right now and wonder, how are they feeling about any election coming up? Someone sent me a video today. Will, I sent it to you. Someone left from the UK and went and visited some of the most dangerous gangs in Jamaica. Went to a guy holding a camera and they did interviews. And one of the craziest thing is that our government can't find 200 most wanted men in Jamaica. But here's this guy leaving from the UK, going to Jamaica and finding these gangs and going and interviewing them and asking them what it is that is going on, why they're doing what they're doing. So if he can find them, how is it that our government can't? And that was crazy to me. But it also tells me from the ground level exactly what is happening in Jamaica. And these same gangsters, if you want to call them that, these same Dans, gunmen, when they're asked the question or the statement is made, so it is said that the crime rate is going down in Jamaica. These same people are saying, no, sir, nothing like that. It's gone sky high. Now, what are we in the diaspora supposed to do, really and truly? And so, for those who are listening in Jamaica, courtesy of Earth 96, thank you, Earth 96 FM, for taking this broadcast. Those of you who are listening in Jamaica, whether on the radio or social media, whichever way you're listening, tell me something. How you feel about where you live in right now and how you're living right now. Lion is in Jamaica, and he's a firm supporter of what we are doing in the United States, in the UK, in Canada. Why? So you ask yourselves that question. Are you comfortable with how things are going right now? Does it make sense to you? Are you willing to have your children grow up in this particular climate, in the way how things are going right now? I used to leave from St. George's College, go to Waterhouse and play ball on the road, and then leave from Waterhouse and go to my house in Zeta Gardens. And even then, it was a little bit dangerous. But what? My grandparents lived in Waterhouse, so I was going to Waterhouse all my life. I went to church downtown Kingston, so I know street life. But people do it. You think I can do that now? I can't do that now. I'm afraid to go home myself. And I've spoken to many people who are afraid to go home. So, people in Jamaica, are you willing to just let things go just like this and call it a political fight? There's nothing political around here. That much I have learned from listening to these gentlemen that I have on this panel tonight. So, this call to action, and I'm going to put up the flyer right now. Here's a call to action. For those of you who are watching here on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin on kevinstew.com and on YouTube on the Night Shift to DJ Kevin Stew, those of you who are watching, here's a call to action. And it's for the protest in Florida this coming Friday, January 19. And everybody gather up around about 7:30 a.m. It goes until about 1 o'clock as the permit allows. And the major concerns are right there. The increasing state of public corruption, the high level of violent crimes. 33 people dead in 13 days. So that was the report 2 days ago. How much more are we at now? The failure to provide promised services. One of the things that really gets to me, and I'm glad Will is on right now. Will's video is up right now. Because one of the things that really gets me is standing. And when I heard that Rattigan had no standing in filing a lawsuit against a government official for not for her to give him some sort of payment or recompense or anything like that. For her to give Jamaica and Jamaicans a report and to be told that he doesn't have any standing because he wasn't directly affected. What? Now, everybody in Jamaica should be standing up at this point in time to say, wait, hold on. We didn't have whatever it takes to file this suit. We didn't even know that we could file such a suit. Here it is, someone is standing up for us. And you're telling him that he can't. People in Jamaica, you have the power. So, gentlemen, talk to me real quick about standing. What is standing? How do people have standing? How do we get this? Since we don't have it, how can we go about getting it?
Can I just say this before the lawyer answers?
Yes, Dr. Francis, go ahead.
Here's my degree of standing, right? I understand the legal version, but here's what I'm saying. Ratty doesn't have any standing in Jamaica. The Prime Minister doesn't have any standing here at his request to for the global. None of them for the Global Diaspora Council. So it's no standing there, no standing here. Go on your knees, brethren. That's how it goes. Because I don't understand. They're trying to fool and bamboozle the Jamaican people. You understand? The fact of the matter is, you're a Jamaican citizen. And I could understand if they said that it had no merit. The lawsuit had no merit, but no standing. It's like pleading the fifth. Let me make it quite clear. They think we are, people are stupid. The people in Jamaica are not stupid. They know that the diaspora is, because, the Prime Minister said it when he wrote and said, what you call it, oh God, what was the terminology he used? It was about our perception. I can't remember the exact words that he just used, about perception of how we what's it called again? Can't remember. But anyway, he said it in his news, and I don't remember it now. But the reputation of Jamaica. It's to deal with the reputation of Jamaica. The fact that the reputation of Jamaica is being held up by us as well as Jamaica. There's no reason for us to try to denounce the reputation of Jamaica. Why do they feel that you can hide a murder? I mean, for example, if you shoot 6 people and 4 die, and 4 die right away, you don't know how many are going to die, having had the shots and what have you. So people must understand that, this is not a joke thing.
Right.
Right? There are many people who have died even after they've been shot. So we now know we have to take into consideration what is happening generally. I say to everyone, please, we need to watch out what is happening in Jamaica. We need to be cognizant of what is happening, and we are not ruining our reputation if we call it out. We're not ruining because it is the right thing to do. Young people are getting killed. Women and children are getting killed. Oh my God, people are killing people in church. Ladies and gentlemen, I submit to you that we have standing, regardless, once we are Jamaican. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
So, Kevin, so that
So you can have the legal version, I'm sure.
includes my my place in line here.
Yes, sir.
Simply put, I know Mr. Rattigan has explained this quite often. Standing in the courts in Jamaica is a legal right or capacity to bring a case or challenge a decision in a court of law. Standing is determined by the court based on the interest, injury, or benefit that the party has in the matter. Standing may vary depending on the type and level of the court, the nature and subject case, and the applicable law or regulation. Right? I mean, simply put, that you must have a reason to file suit. And if a Jamaican citizen living here in the U.S., he didn't give up his rights as a Jamaican.
Yes.
Right?
Right.
And so pretty much they need to deal with that. And I'm sorry, our good friend is not here because he wrote up a brilliant appeal. And of course, right as he did that, they tried to suspend him for 2 years from practice.
Right.
But that's being held up right now. I don't know Mr. Radigan will add more to it. But let me say this. There's a lot of people questioning what right do we have to protest?
Right.
And some of the things that we've been doing, right? But listen, protest is one of the long-standing methodologies that interest groups utilize to get their themselves heard,
Mm-hmm.
right? Lobbying is very common. You know, lobbyists here in the U.S. they grease a lot of palms. They take the congressmen and they wipe out to some hill side villa up in the mountains, and
Right.
they feed them. They feed them. There's
Wine and
some
dine them.
wives
Mm-hmm.
of executives, key congressional people, right? That they get jobs that they're not qualified for. They get paid six-figure salaries. That's lobbying, right? You're passing money to the congressman by hiring his wife or some other member of the family. Now, grassroots campaigns, you mobilize supporters to pressure representatives or the public through various means, such as letters, which we have, phone calls, which we have, emails, which we have, petitions, or social media, which we are.
Right.
And those are grassroots campaigns that demonstrate the strength and popularity of the group's cause. Now, demonstration. This involves organizing public rallies, marches, sit-ins, or strikes to draw attention and raise the awareness of the group's issue. And our issue is criminality on the island is out of control. And the people who are supposed to have transparency and be accountable are not. There's too much money that the U.S. government is pouring into Jamaica
Mm-hmm.
and a return on investment. The American people, the taxpayers, need to call on the government to stop and to ask for a bottom line as to where the government has gone with all the funds. And one of the key areas of protest is actually litigation.
Mm.
It involves using the judicial system to challenge or defend a policy or legislation that affects our interests, the diaspora's interests. And
Right.
litigation involves what? Filing lawsuits, seeking injunctions, or appealing to higher courts, which we are engaged in.
Right.
It may set legal precedents, but it will also influence what? Future policy making. Because now they know we have what? Power.
Mm-hmm.
And we're demonstrating power. And we're going to keep demonstrating that power in person, physically. And we're going to be doing it in several different cities, right? So they can't come and talk nonsense, right, about what our capabilities should be.
Right.
And that will be directed by long hair out of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, who is a mouthpiece for the Minister of Foreign Affairs, who herself has demonstrated why they need us to file lawsuits,
Right.
because the practices there have been corrupt amongst a lot of these ministers. So we didn't just pick on her. She just happened to be the first one up, and she
Right.
won't be the last, right? I mean, this is become ridiculous. You touching on something else, PTSD and mental health.
Yes.
People are suffering trauma from the violence And there's a stigma with people in those areas of violence who are constantly there. Would you believe Jamaica has a high prevalence of PTSD of those who live in the inner city communities because they're exposed to chronic violence, poverty, and social exclusion? 41% of inner city residents in Kingston have been shown to have PTSD, compared to 6% of suburban residents. That means if you live up in the hills where it's nice and calm and you have police patrols,
Right.
you're not affected. But if you're down in the low-lying areas of Western Kingston or in Clarendon, Maypen, or some areas that don't get police patrols, like in Montego Bay, which has far exceeded the murder rates of Kingston, and they're currently leading, by the way, of the murder rates so far this year in St. James, Montego Bay, around Montego Bay. You have to ask yourself, where's the protection that the government promised?
Right.
Where is sleep with your doors and your windows open? I mean, what's going on? So we no longer keep guessing at this. We are bringing pressure to bear on this corrupt government to apply the funds properly and efficiently and don't pay no bills that you should have paid with some other funds. You need to apply it to youth that was the intended target when the vice president gave it to you, and when the foreign minister from the UK came down and gave you the funds. So they're listening. They need to do a self-audit on themselves and find out where all this money that they've been getting from 2019 to present, pre-COVID, COVID, post-COVID periods, where's all the money gone? What is going on? And the people of Jamaica need to wake up and demand accountability and transparency. This is what we preach, and this is what we're going to continue to preach. Thanks.
You know, you just said something, Herb, and it made me think. I can't recall hearing of an internal audit being done in or on the government of Jamaica. I don't know if anybody on the panel, if any of you know of any internal audits.
I tell you what, not only did the DPP get her time in office extended, but the Auditor General got their time in office extended as well. So what do you think happened to the internal audits? Why? You see where I'm coming from now?
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Read between the lines, people. There's something happening.
Okay.
So,
Will, I'll let you have the,
Yes.
the last say before I wrap this up for tonight.
No.
With
let
the
me
standing, with the standing.
Let me just kind of clear this up with the standing issue.
Yes.
The people seem to forget that, as Herb mentioned, the lawsuit wasn't about pecuniary damages. It wasn't about it wasn't about collecting money or punishing her or anything. It wasn't any. It was simply for the court to make a declaration that she didn't file. That's all. That's all. And let me ask you this question. Here's what the allegation was, and I've said it's a fact. She was required to file for receipt of services, which she's required. They're all government officials are required to file whenever they receive gifts, including cash or in kind. Under the Financial Administrative and Audit Act, you're required to file, in addition to which you have to file it with the tax administrator. Then you have to file it on your statutory declaration with the Integrity Commission. Then you have to file it with the finance division. Plus, depending on where you are, you have to file it with your own ministry. And we've proved that we have the documentation indicating that she didn't file. Now, here's a question. If someone in Jamaica had brought this lawsuit, would the court say, you don't have standing?
That's exactly where I sit too. That's my question.
Yeah. If someone had brought it in Jamaica and say, Your Honor, I'm a Jamaican, I live in Jamaica, I pay taxes here, blah, blah, blah. And I just want you to make a declaration that my minister did not file.
Mm-hmm.
Would the court say to that person living in Jamaica that you don't have standing to bring this because you've not been materially and directly affected by her inaction or failure to file? That's the question. Because then, see, if the answer is, let's do a quick analysis. If the answer is no, you don't have standing, then what that is saying is that
nobody has standing.
Exactly. Nobody has standing. And so the officials can do whatever they want to do.
Right. They're untouchable.
Say, well, yeah, because what would happen is, think about it, if monies were disbursed to fix, and I use this example all the time, to fix a road in St. Thomas, and you live in Westmoreland, right? The opposite end of the island. And you've never been to St. Thomas, but you realize that, hey, there is something going on here, right? And you file an action. You think the court would say, well, you're not materially affected by misappropriation of funds going on over here, and therefore you have no standing. No. So by extrapolation, what they're saying then is that if you live outside the country, you don't have standing. And you know what's interesting? There's a case out of Trinidad,
mm-hmm.
and that case stands for the proposition that if you are a citizen of a CARICOM country, you have standing to bring your case in your country. So we're hopeful that the Court of Appeal
mm-hmm.
will again, I respect the judge's opinion. You have to, if you believe in democracy and the rule of law, you have to, but you can also disagree. And there's a mechanism when you disagree. And the mechanism is not for you to demean the judge or get personal with the judge. The mechanism is you appeal. You say, and the judge is like any one of us. We've all made mistakes. And we believe that the judge made a mistake here. And so the procedure to correct that mistake is through and by the Court of Appeal. And we hope that the Court of Appeal will do the right thing. But even if the court doesn't do it, there's still another step in the appellate process, and that is the Privy Council. Mm-hmm. So this is going to go, because that's a significant issue. Who has standing to bring a case in Jamaica? That's a significant issue. So, that's where we are with it.
And yet again, it's also an unprecedented issue because no one has brought an issue like this before any courts in Jamaica. This is the first time it is happening.
The people would make the comment that, well, I should not do none, why you do this and why you do that. They're the same people complaining that, corruption. And how does corruption start? Start one little blie. That's how it starts out,
Right.
One little blie. And then a bigger step, then a bigger step, then a bigger step. And before you know it, you can't control the problem. It becomes endemic, it's embedded in the system. Now, I'm not accusing the minister of corruption. What I'm accusing her of is failure to file. That's all I've accused her of. That's all my allegation. And so, the people who say all these things, I asked them, I said, let me ask you a question. Do you agree that there is corruption in Jamaica? They say yes. I said, do you agree that there is the people, there is partiality in the system for government officials? Yes. Do you believe that government officials sometimes they go around, they weave their way around the law? Yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. And do you believe that we should do something about that? And the answer is yes. And I said to them, so what are you doing?
Right.
No answer. I said, I'm trying to do something. You know, I'm trying to do that. So you should be helping me to try and correct the ills, the faults within the system, so that we can move towards a better Jamaica, where we can honestly say at some point that justice is truly equal. Because right now, if you look around at the various cases, you see justice is unequal. When was the last time you saw somebody from uptown, wealthy class, the privileged, I spend time down at GP at Tamarind Farm?
Doesn't happen.
And don't tell me that those people don't commit crimes.
No, they go to Richmond Farm. They go to Richmond Farm in St. Mary.
People don't not commit. It's almost like they don't commit any crimes, and so it's this whole purpose of this movement is to bring realization to the fact that nothing is going to change unless we cause those those changes. You cannot plead to the government to do a course correction. It won't. By nature, it won't. By nature, it will continue along the path that is continuing. So you have to become that obstruction. And this is the very first, this is not the first, but this is one of the pillars of the obstruction, the obstruction initiative. So, we do the lawsuit, and we have more lawsuits in the pipeline. We have the public relations campaign. We're ginning that up. We also have the background investigation. We started that already. Now we're starting the protest, and then we have the engagement with the lawmakers. So it's a multifaceted approach, and we're not going to yield. We're not going to surrender. We're not going to bow.
Let me ask this real quick. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, please.
Dr. Francis mentioned crimes committed by the government, the Jamaican government, in the U.S. Is it only in the U.S. though?
That they commit crime?
Yes.
Crimes. Oh, you mean with the Magnitsky and the other acts?
Well, not necessarily with the acts, but just the mere fact that they have committed crimes, and those crimes would be linked to Jamaica. But are they linked to any other countries, like the UK and Canada?
But here's the thing: if you're talking about the prosecution aspect of it, yes, because the Magnitsky Act, it has parallel. It's reflected in laws in the UK and Canada. Similarly, and you know what? We've been doing some research on laws that we can actually use against Jamaican or corrupt Jamaican officials, and we found I think 5. We found 5 of them so far. Yes. So when we go to speak to our lawmakers and we go to speak to our civil servants, people in the State Department, for example, we will provide them not only with the facts, but we will provide them with the law. It's not that they don't know, but we're going to demonstrate to them that we know. And so any partiality that they were thinking about extending to these people, they shouldn't. And it's timely because this year is an election year. So we will get all the attention we deserve from the politicians.
I would like to say this to Jamaicans everywhere as we wrap this all up. I want to emphasize this. And I have not discussed this with any of the members of the panel. This is coming from me, Kevin Stew. Your mentality has to change. I've said it before on this broadcast. I'll say it again. The way you look at how the government how the country is run has to change. You need to move away from voting party and start voting policy, which means whomever it is that is bringing that thing, that concept, that proposal that will make a difference, a positive difference in your community is where you need to go. Whether it is coming from somebody wearing green or somebody wearing orange or somebody wearing some multicolor saying that they represent none of these people. Whomever it is that is bringing the policy that is going to make a positive impact on your community is where you need to vote. And when they don't do what they're supposed to do, it is well within your rights to call them out on it, one, and remove them and make someone else do the job. Two. So this has nothing to do with FIS V, green, red, NDM, whomever. It has everything to do with us Jamaicans living our best lives, which goes beyond what foreigners come to our resorts to experience. Because anybody coming to Jamaica, when the reports go out how Jamaica is so safe and everything else, these people are going to resorts in Jamaica. They're not going to visit Jamaica. They're not going into the market to spend their money and to boost the economy. They're going to resorts. That money doesn't trickle down. So I want everybody to get it into their heads. The mentality has to change. Start voting policy, move away from party. Gentlemen, I want to thank you all for taking the time out to share about what is happening this week, this unprecedented thing, this brand new thing. Let me go ahead and put it up on the screen once more. This call to action. There it is for those of you who are watching. Happening this Friday, January 19, 7:30 a.m., 44 West Flagler Street down in Miami, Florida. It's right on the front doors of the Jamaican consulate. And CG, if you're listening, this is not to say that anybody is attacking the consulate. And anybody else that is listening, and people in Washington, people in New York, people in London, people in Toronto, know that the same kind of protest is coming to you. Consular Generals, I want you to know it's not directed at you. However, if any action is going to be taken outside of Jamaica, it has to be on grounds that represent Jamaica. Where else is it going to happen? And so people in Jamaica know that people outside of Jamaica are standing up for the country. And you have a responsibility too in Jamaica. You can't just blame everything on the government. Because if you're going to do that, make sure that you understand that you are responsible because you put them there. Gentlemen on the panel, thank you very much for your time. I truly appreciate it. Thank you for coming out. Thank you for all that you've been doing to institute this change. Or to initiate this change. It has never been done. I'm glad to be along for the ride so that I can see what is going on, so that I can influence somebody else. And all the best to you. All the best for anybody that's going to show up for this protest this coming weekend, this coming Friday. Big ups to you. Thank you. And if you can't support in person, what you go? Wear a white T-shirt or your Jamaican colors, right?
Yeah, Kevin. Before we go, let me just say that I looked at the weather report for Friday, and it's forecast. The forecast calls for thunder showers at noon, and we're gonna go from 8 to 1. So we're asking people
come out early.
To come early. Yes,
right.
Indeed. Yeah, the weather is going to be it's going to be great temperature-wise. It's going to be about 76 degrees Fahrenheit.
I can tell you, it's been real nice up until now. Yeah. So, thank you, Debbie. Thank you very much. Listen, y'all have a good night. Thank you to my affiliates, One Harmony Radio over there in the UK, NIE Radio in New Jersey, Mix 102 in New Jersey, Earth 96 FM in Jamaica. Who am I leaving out? Island Worldwide in New York. The Foundation Radio Network, ClintonLindsay.com, right here in South Florida. Thank you for taking this broadcast and giving us the opportunity to spread the word on this new step that Jamaicans are taking to hold our governments accountable. And I pluralize it because JLP is as complicit as the PNP is, and questions are being asked of everybody. So let's go. We're going for answers and we're going for a better Jamaica. Will, Captain Francis, Herb, Carlos, Lion, Tigo, Jeffrey, thank you all.
You're welcome, brother.
Yeah. You're welcome, brother.
Thanks for having
Thank you,
us.
brother. Thank you.
Thanks for having us. It's a beautiful show. Thanks, sir.
Much
Alrighty.
respect. Much love.
Good look on the good look on the new show, brother. Good look on the new show. Good look on the journey. I'm glad to see more soldiers in the army. I realize I may notice what I want. So I share it to my page on Facebook. Which other people who are watching right now, share it. You know, so we need more soldiers in the army. The more voices in it, when we have the army, it sound more sweeter.
Yes.
More, so louder. So,
yes.
Good luck, my brother.
Let's come
Good
out
night,
early.
gentlemen.
Yeah, man.
Let's come out early to the event. Come
Right.
out early, okay?
Well, I tell you what.
And contribute to the One Jamaica
Jamaica Legal Defense Fund.
Development. Listen, one JDF.
OJLDF.
OLJDF.
Right.
I like the OJDF part. OLJDF.
Of course you would. Dr. Francis.
You're the captain.
So
yes. Thank
So-
you.
Yeah.
All
here's a logo. If anybody is looking for it, it's
I'm looking at about 4 or 5 inches of snow outside right now. So you talk about Florida at 76 degrees.
Right.
That sound like Wonderland.
yeah, yes.
Look, if you're up to it, man, hit your ride with us, bro.
Carry your umbrellas. We're good.
Herb, I can tell you, it's real nice down here right now.
And I tell you, it's a trip.
Yeah.
This morning it was windy and cold, 25 degrees.
Wow.
Tonight it's up 26 degrees and snow is outside.
It's snowing outside.
Okay.
Though.
By the way, guys, the letter is
Yes.
in your emails.
The sound of Nikki Blaze. Closing us out, it's called Lost in Illusion.
I see them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in the state of confusion. Why is it that my
I want to thank y'all who have been hanging out in the chat room.
sitting on the jail floor?
Debbie,
My
Merlin,
fighting
CD.
to knock down doors. Same race they stole from across the shore. My race that built this great nation.
For those of you who have been silent, thank you very much.
Plantation.
Dorette, much love.
I see them.
Gypsy Girl,
Oh, yes, I see them.
thank you much.
Lost in illusion. Lost in illusion. I see them love. Oh, yes, I see them. Lost in delusion. And now they reside in the state of confusion. Rwanda, Haiti, down in Darfur, Jamaica, they're crying out for murder, hunger. Why can't we come together and help one another? It only takes but one to start a revolution. Please don't play into the illusion. Oh, I see them loud.
Yes, they are lost in illusion,
Yeah, I see them loud.
but our eyes have been opened.
In a state of confusion.
I want to thank y'all for tuning in.
Wake up, wake up, wake
As we part company, remember to look out for members of your community. Your community is not just development that you live in, but it spreads far and wide. So those that you pass on the bus, the plane, the boat, or the train, whether you walk, ride, or drive, these are members of your community. Do something good for one of them today, because you never know who's going to do something good for you tomorrow. My name is Kevin Stew. This is how I like to do it to you, for you, and with you. Mondays, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, 10 p.m. Eastern. KevinStew.com and affiliates.
I see the love.
Good morning, good afternoon, good day to you wherever you are in the world. From right here in South Florida, I bid you all a good night. Take care, be good. If you can't be good at it. I'm out of here.
My people you love so.
Greetings and salutations, one and all. You're invited to tune in to the night shift with DJ Kevin Stew. It airs on Mondays with Community and Finance, Tuesdays with Healthy Love, and Wednesdays with Real Talk from 10 p.m. to midnight Eastern Time. Come spend some time interacting in the stew pot where we keep things bubbling and wind down in musical therapy. The night shift with DJ Kevin Stew is on kevinstew.com, where you're encouraged to have acceptance through enlightenment.